West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I am the Reverend Tracy Springberry, and it is a delight to see all of you. It is my delight to serve this really warm and caring congregation. And I want you all to know that you are all welcome here. Everyone's welcome here. No matter who you are, where you came from, who you love, how you express your gender, your immigration status, everyone is welcome here. And you are welcome here whether you were on the edge of your seat for the entire World Series, or if you don't even know who was playing in the World Series. And you are welcome here if you've been spending time just staring at the beautiful trees, watching the light and the dewdrops on them, or if you've just been rushing through your life and seeing it out of the corner of your eyes. Everyone is welcome here. Now is the time, my brain just blanked out. I wanted to say greetings to everybody online this morning as well. And after the service, we have coffee downstairs and online, and everyone is welcome to be there. It is now time to greet each other. And today, we're celebrating our service, our traditional remembrance service, where we remember the people in our lives who have died. And we're remembering our ancestors today, the people who have made us who we are in so many ways. And so during greeting each other, what I would like you to do is to share with somebody the name and relationship of someone in your life who died who was important to you, maybe the pictures that you're going to bring up here today, or maybe it was a beloved pet who has died in your life. So just share those names with 2 or 3 other people, and maybe the relationship as well. You may greet each other.
To beings, listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning have died have never, never left. The dead are not back with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Zah,
I would like to invite Sam up to light our chalice. Sam, is that not Sam? Yeah, Eric. Yes, I had been told that. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Eric. So our opening words are by Wendell-Berry. We clasp the hands of those who go before us, and the nada of those who come after us. We enter the little circle of each other's arms and the larger circle of lovers whose hands are joined in a dance, and the larger circle of all creatures passing in and out of life, who move also in a dance to a music so subtle and vast that no one hears it except in fragments. Let us say our affirmation. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful and what is wondrous. Let us open our minds to learn what is true and what is mysterious. Let us open our hearts to love ourselves and our neighbors.
Good morning. I'm Christine Leffler, and I'm very happy to be your lay leader this morning. I have a reading by the Reverend Victoria Safford. Where do they go, do you think, when they die? Our mothers and brothers and lovers, grandfathers, colleagues, children and friends. You turn your head and suddenly they have slipped away. But where? What's happened? How could we? How could they? What remains? I find myself telling a young child things I didn't know about death, things that shock me and make me wonder. We come across a small dead turtle in the road, and we decide to bury it. So with a stick, we scrape a space on the edge of someone else's grass and put the little disc of the shell in the hollow of the earth. And I tell what will happen to the turtle, to the muscle and the blood and the eyes and the shell. He loves this. It all goes back to the earth, I say, into new soil, and new plants will use it and grow, and birds will eat the plants, or we will, and the birds will scatter seeds which turtles might eat, and round and round and round it goes. This much I know is true. But I also say, because clearly the child is waiting to hear more, clearly he knows this cannot be all. And the spirit of the turtle comes out and goes back into everything, into the stars and the sun and you and me. Everything the turtle was returns to everything, and it is not lost. We're both a little shocked at that, and pondering, we continue walking. The same child was told not long ago by a well-meaning relative that her dead cat, the relative's dead cat, is happy now in kitty heaven, And the fact is, though I roll my supercilious eyes and make derisive noises, I don't know now and never will whether kitty heaven is real, or kitty hell for that matter. The child and I, and all the poets and all the philosophers, the scientists and the scholars, are equal in our ignorance on this, and equal in our expertise. When someone asks, what will happen to the turtle? Or to us, bowel and blood and bone change into other things, dust and drop and molecule. But what about the soul? The heart is water and flesh. It decomposes fast or burns. But what of the heart's contents? What we know for sure when someone dies is loneliness. What we know is the lifelong struggle to remember. We know beyond biology and chemistry, what we know forever and ever are the questions. What remains of him, of her? What remains of you in me?
What remains of him or her or them in me, in you? What remains? Humans have been calling that question into the cosmos as long as we've been humans. What remains as life slips away? Where did the people, the pets we love go? They're here and then they're not. We do not know where that energy, that aliveness went. We may have ideas about it, but we can never know. But we know one place that we can always find them, and that is in our hearts and in our memories. All over the world, for as far back as we know, the living have held their beloved dead in the presence, in their hearts, and in their souls through ritual and story. Rituals that cross cultures and time nearly always speak the truth. The truth is, our beloved dead do live with us. We feel them. We cannot push them away. Some feel their spirits humming around their edges of their consciousness or in their dreams. Others find them in their memories or in the way we conduct our lives. Often they continue on in our very cells. They are here always with us. Today, in this late time of year, as the shadows and darkness deepen, as the plants die, we follow the traditions of the Northern Europeans, and we remember our dead. We remember to thank them for all they have given us.
This is the time in our service when we pause to reflect on the gifts we have received from this abundant earth and the generous spirit of family and community, to consider what it is that we have given and what it is that we are grateful for. During the musical interlude, please consider the gifts you have to offer our WOOF community, whether it be financial support or the special gift of your time or talent. Know that we are grateful for your offering. And let us remember that it is love that built our community, love that built the fires that warm us and planted trees that shade us. We drink from wells we did not dig. And we are ever grateful for all the early stewards of this land, beginning with the original peoples, the indigenous tribes, many of whom live among us today, and to whom our doors are always open. WOOF exists because of the generous spirit and commitment of all those who came before us. Just as our future health depends on the dedication and commitment of those here now. Can the ushers please come forward to gratefully receive this morning's offerings? We gratefully receive your gifts this morning. Please join us in the affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
So we have a story this morning. The Memory Tree by Britta Tickendrupt. There once was a fox who lived with all the other animals in the forest. Fox had lived a long and happy life, but now he was tired. Very slowly, Fox made his way to his favorite spot in the clearing. He looked at his beloved forest one last time and lay down. Fox closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and took his last breath, falling asleep forever. Everything around Fox was still and peaceful. Snow began to fall, gently covering him in a soft blanket. Owl had watched Fox from the top of his tree. He flew down and landed next to his friend. Owl was very sad. He had known Fox for a long time, but Owl knew the time had come for his friend to leave. One by one, Fox's friends came into the clearing. First squirrel and weasel, then bear, deer, and bird, and finally rabbit, mouse, and the others came to sit by Fox. Fox had been loved by everyone. He had been kind and caring. No one could imagine life in the forest without him. The animals sat in silence for a very long time. Owl was the first to speak. He smiled warmly and said, "I remember when Fox and I were very young. Every autumn we raced to see who could catch more falling leaves." The other animals remembered and smiled. Mouse said softly, "I remember how much Fox loved the sunset. He always sat at this exact spot." The animals remembered. Many of them had joined Fox, watching the sun go down. It was a happy memory, and their sad hearts filled with warmth. Bear remembered how Fox had looked after her cubs one spring. Rabbit smiled when she told the story of how Fox had played tag with her in the tall grass. Squirrel talked about Fox helping him dig up buried nuts in the deep snow last winter. One by one, the animals remembered their favorite stories about Fox. Fox had touched the lives of all the animals in the forest with his warmth and kindness, and they all smiled, remembering. While the animals talked, a little orange plant grew out of the ground where Fox was lying. Small and delicate at first and barely noticeable, the plant grew bigger, stronger, and more beautiful with each day. During the next days and weeks and months, the animals remembered many more stories about Fox. Their heavy hearts began to feel lighter. The more they remembered, the more the tree grew, higher and higher and more beautiful, until it was the tallest tree in the forest. A tree made from memories and love. A tree made from memories full of love. Fox's tree was so big and strong enough to shelter all the animals. It was always buzzing with life. The bird built their nests among the leaves, and owl raised his grand chicks on the branches. Squirrel found a cozy home in the trunk, and bear and deer and rabbit felt safe in its shade. The tree gave strength to everyone who loved Fox. And so Fox lived on in their hearts forever. We will stay seated and sing 1048.
Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est, ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est.
What about Those Ancestors by Barbara Drake? Dear ancestors, thank you for surviving. Sincerely, your grateful descendant. What if you could fish for your ancestors in heaven, casting far into the night sky when you can't sleep, snagging great-great-grandma and reeling her in to tell you stories until 6 a.m.? What if your ancestors are still watching you and see everything you do? Everything. Would you get sassy and say, you did it too? Or just say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir? What if they never really died, but just piled up in the back seat of your car, telling you how to drive, telling you where to drive, drinking scotch from a silver flask, and demanding ice cream? What if you had no ancestors, just appeared like a lonely bubble in a pool of tar? Pop. Maybe your ancestors were jellyfish or one-celled creatures without hairdos or mouths or underwear. Whoever they were, invite them for a seance, a barbecue, a tete-a-tete, or a chin-to-chin. And if they come, celebrate the nose you all share, your laugh, the color of your hair. You might be an ancestor someday. Maybe you already are.
Like all of us, I was raised under the trees of my ancestors. My great-grandparents on my mother's side were immigrants from Norway and England. At 18, my great-grandmother, fleeing a new stepmother, brought her two younger sisters across the Atlantic from Norway. And then they took trains from New York to Montana, where they had some relatives. Later, this great-grandmother tried solo homesteading. also spent time here in Portland cleaning houses. She married late for her time, at 33, and settled in Butte, where her husband worked in the mines. Her daughter, my grandmother, fled Butte, Montana with my grandfather, eager to leave that confining coal town where they both had been raised. They loaded their 3 young daughters, the oldest 7, the youngest 1, in a small trailer and headed west just to see where their fortunes might take them. And it carried them to a trailer park in Spokane, Washington, which then they bought. One day a renter came to my grandfather and said his family was not comfortable having a black family, one of the renters, in the community, and neither were some of the other families. This was the early 1950s, and my grandfather said, "Well, that's too bad. We'll be sorry to see you go." And I love this story. It makes me so proud to be my grandfather's granddaughter. On the other side of my family, they homesteaded in Green Bluff, which is just north of Spokane and is sort of the Sauvie Island equivalent. People go there to pick berries and things. And so it was my great-grandfather who homesteaded there. And so his daughter, my great-grandmother, she grew up there, and she had 6 children, which she raised in this little tiny, like 800 square foot house. I saw it once. And so the girls were in one bedroom, the boys in the other, and then the parents lived in the living room. And so sometimes it got rather chaotic, and the story is that my great-grandmother would climb the tree with her violin and play her violin in the branches of a tree. I love these stories of my grandparents. They show such resilience and courage and creativity, all in both hard and good times. Our ancestors are just simply part of who we are. It's their breath that animates us. We become their stories of resilience and courage. We are also the stories of their tragedy and pain. My family, and perhaps yours, has some really difficult and painful stories, which also are part of who I am and a part of who my family is. So the question for the day is, who are your ancestors? Do you know stories about them? And what have they taught you? What do you carry with them that you're proud of or that breaks your heart? And if you don't know, what would you like to know? So we're going to spend some time in contemplation. We're just going to be in silence for a minute, and then some music will play, and then we will come out of that silence together. like you, as best you can, I know it's a little complicated to do in here, maybe better downstairs, is I would like you to gather in groups of 2, 3, 4, and I would like you just to take a moment to share with somebody a story of an ancestor from your life. If you don't know any stories, welcome to just listen. If you are a young person and you'd like to maybe know a story, you might want to stay with your parents, but if you know a story, you can tell that as well. So we will just now take some time to gather, turn around in our seats, and speak with some people. Remember, everybody, to make sure everybody's included. Look around, make sure everybody's included. at the beginning of our ritual of remembrance, I'm going to light 4 candles for woofers who died this year. The first is for Tony Paget, I think that's how you say her name? Paget. She was a member here at WOOF a long time ago and recently sent us a letter saying, right before she died, about how much this congregation and Elliot and First Church all meant to her life. The second candle is for Joanne Bailey, who was a very feisty member here. Actually, before my time, I only met her once, and she has been in care for a number of years and recently passed this year. But a very important member of this congregation, holding it together for a long time. This candle is for Karen Fursich, who died in the spring, and she was one of the more beloved members here for me, because when I came, she was one of the people who helped get me oriented and helped me start my ministry in a good way. She was so kind and so full of wisdom, and was one of those people who really created WOOF and made it happen. She will always be one of my Unitarian Universalist ancestors. And this one is for Doug Watson, who died recently. A beloved man, very beloved in the choir, and we have all appreciated his beautiful voice over the years. So we will hold those ancestors for WOOF in our hearts. So now, what I would like you to do is to come forward and place a picture of a loved one if you brought one. If you did not bring something to represent your loved one, you got cards when you first came in and pencils, and you could write their names on the cards and set them on this altar of memory for those who we've cared about and loved. I will first place my picture. You will have an opportunity, if you want, to just say their name aloud after you've placed their picture. This is a picture of me and my grandmother, Joyce. So you may come forward, just as we do joys and sorrows. You can come down this aisle and around. You don't have to come up if you don't wish, but we certainly welcome you.
This is for my double first cousin, Hardy Oliver, who is more like a brother to me than even my own brothers.
So if people want to just move to the side, we seem to have a non-moving situation.
Lucy Stein, Irvin Stein, and my dear friends Helene, Joyce, and Vicki, all 3 of whom died in 2017.
find your seats in the middle, that would be good. You don't have to go all the way around.
I brought a guitar pick for my great-grandmother, Maggie Merkel, because she gave me my first guitar when I was 6 years old and is a big part of why my family likes music.
I brought a photo of Evan Engelgau, who was the father of Vincent's cousins. We lost him suddenly at 33.
I brought a picture of my mother and father. My mother, Vera, was a school teacher for 23 years, and my father was a scoutmaster. My mom also did scouting. They were wonderful parents.
My younger brother, Eddie, was an artist and a fighter, and he died young.
I brought a picture of my parents, Margaret and Clarence Bridges.
For my good friend Zane, who has been gone for 10 years too soon.
My brothers, John and Larry, passed away in the past 18 months.
Here's to all the farmers in my life.
For my husband, my parents, and my younger sister.
My mother collected everything elephant, and this is one that she made.
I brought a picture of my mother's mother and my father's father together at my wedding in 1980, and they are both extremely dear to me.
Lots of pictures, lots of memories of beloved grandparents, parents, and a very beloved young niece and nephew who both died way too young, but whom I loved fiercely.
What a wonderful joy to have two loving wives, not at the same time.
Pictures of my father and mother, Father Arthur, Mother Doris, and I officiated at my mother's memorial.
I'm thinking of my wonderful Aunt Margaret, who died in April.
I brought a card up from my dad. It says, "My beloved wife for 47 years, Linda Koval. May she rest in peace. We loved her tremendously."
Just a little love note from my grandma and grandpa Whitney, and I have a picture from 1943.
let us hold in the richness of this place all of the people who we have loved and who have made us. Let us just take a deep breath and feel them here with you. They are your strength and your roots and your branches. In all of their pain and all of their goodness and all of their laughter and all of their meanness, all of the bad and terrible things that happened and all of the good things that happened and the way people just have walked through their lives no matter what. Feel them here in this space. They're yours.
Some final words from Judith Anderson. Remember us, you who are living. Restore us, renew us. Speak for our silence. Continue our work. Bless the breath of life. Sing the hidden patterns. Weave the web of peace. And our final hymn today will be in the Teal hymnal number 1057.
Go lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day. Go lifted up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
Go lifted up with the love of all those people who never imagined who you could be and who have come together as you, your blessed selves. So go lifted up in love. We have the front people face the back and the back the front, and we will sing Carry the Flame.